Yesterday was a fine time to start the conversation about the achievements of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, and today there's no better time than now to continue that conversation with your support on the program as always. Welcome to Weekend Deal. Yesterday we played host to the Honorable Minister for Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire. He talked expansively about what has been achieved under the President Muhammadu administration in terms of health. We also hosted the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of Nassau Microfinance Bank, Abdullahi Kuri, and talked about the loans they have provided for Nigerians and the recovery rate thus far. But now it's time to hit the ground running. And our backgrounder will set the tone for our continuing conversation, talking about the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration since 2015. Sit back and relax.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari clocked 7 years on May 29, 2022, with enormous track records of success. One of the greatest achievements of this administration is in the area of infrastructure development. For instance, after being moribund for many years, the railway system in the country has started functioning once again. The 186-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna standard gauge rail line was completed 5 years earlier in 2016. Also, the 327-kilometer Itakpe-Warri standard gauge rail line was completed and commissioned in 2020.
We like to commend the effort he did, and you find that even the rail line that's from Abuja to Kaduna was virtually completed, and they have already started the Kaduna-Kano into Maradi, which is in Niger, and then the Lagos-Ibadan rail line, which has been completed, and they have a fast track. So on the rail line, he has done a lot.
Like in the rail sector, road transportation has thrived under President Muhammadu Buhari. According to Presidency, the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund has invested over $1 billion in 3 flagship projects. They include Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which will be concluded this year, Second Niger Bridge, which will also be completed in 2022, while the first phase of the Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Expressway will be completed in 2023.
I was the chairman committee on works for the 8th Senate, so I know what has been done. The second Niger Bridge was just a ceremonial project at the beginning, and it was abandoned. But when President Buhari came in, he found that the project is almost 80% completed, and I believe before he leaves office, that project may be commissioned, or when the next president under APC comes in, we'll be able to complete that project. So apart from the second Niger Bridge, the Abuja-Kano dualized road, totally, not only rehabilitation, but totally reconstruction of the road, and a lot of other roads which are not in existence before, and during this administration, they are on track.
The aviation sector has also recorded some achievement under President Muhammadu Buhari. Some of the most remarkable ones include completion of new terminals for international airports in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt. Also completed are new runways for the Abuja and Enugu international airports. In addition, the Abuja International Airport runway was reconstructed in 2017 for the first time since the airport was built in the early 1980s.
We also hope that the government is going to take care. We have a national carrier whereby you can be able to merge all those airlines that are under ANCOM to set up a new airline that could bear the name of Nigeria, and that could be able to fly. We don't like when we go other countries, we see other nations that are much smaller than Nigeria and not as rich as Nigeria, but they have the airlines flying all over the world.
But in terms of maintaining standards, in terms of maintaining the condition of the airports, improving the airports in particular. You go to the Port Harcourt International Airport, you come to the Abuja International Airport, the remodeled Lagos International Airport, you know that they are standard airports equal to any other international airport anywhere in the world.
Besides infrastructural development, success has also been recorded in the energizing of educational programs by taking clean and reliable energy, solar and gas to federal universities and teaching hospitals across the country. Completed and commissioned projects are Bayero University, Kano, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, and Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Delta State.
If you look at the way we operated GSM in this country, that's how we should have operated our power. The power infrastructure should be like that. We must have a grid that is regional, state-wise, even micro and mini grids.
Despite the achievement recorded within 7 years of this administration, Nigerians are still yearning and asking for more.
The president should look at issues of security and issues of economy. And I believe they have a blueprint now, they are working on it, which they believe that before the end of this administration, they will achieve a lot on the issue of this insecurity, kidnapping, and so on.
Within the next 1 year, all issues that have to do with devolution of power, with autonomy of sub-national entities and the lower level municipal entities of the country, all those issues should be addressed so that the next government that will take over will only face issues that have to do with infrastructure and human capital development.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on assessing the 7 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
Francis highlighting some of the giant strides taken that have impacted Nigerians in the current administration, talking of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration from inception till now, talking about infrastructure, talk about rail, we talk about aviation, you talk about roads. There have been giant strides taken in different areas. Of course, if you are in Nigeria, in fact, wherever you are in the world, you must know that the countdown has started to picking a candidate for the 2023 presidential elections. Primaries have been held with the PDP and some other parties, and we have some that are soon to be held. Well, Maggie went out and captured the feeling out there, the pulse of some politicians and analysts, and that's what was set to show you at this time. As the heat is on, there's no doubt that 2023 general elections will be quite different from the previous elections. Notwithstanding the high cost of presidential forms, many are not deterred as aspirants lined up en masse, hoping to clinch the ticket for the 2023 presidential elections.
First, from the sale of forms, there were cases where governors hijacked forms and credible and qualified people like women and young people, couldn't secure those forms. So to that extent, we can't say that the primaries are democratic in every respect, because the weakest link in our electoral process is the candidate selection process. And we can see it first from the cost of the nomination forms and how the primaries are managed. So I would say that across board, the primaries have actually reinforced two things: that our political parties are very weak and they can't manage candidate selection process. That two, that the candidate and leadership recruitment process is highly commercialized, and so it is compromised.
Research shows that the new Electoral Act of 2022 allows political parties to adopt different ways in electing their flag bearers, directly or indirectly, or to arrive at a consensus method. Statistics shows that about 767 delegates have been elected from across the country, and they voted in the just concluded People's Democratic Party presidential primaries, as His Excellency the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, scored a total of 371 votes to defeat his closest rival, the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who pooled 237 votes. As delegates who vote aspirants and have the final say, Many now describe them as kings and queens. And we wonder about the patriotism of these royals.
There were reports about the commercialization and the procurement of delegates in the PDP primaries, and there were several costs. Either say it was $20,000, or some said some candidate aspirants gave $15,000. When you have a commercialized process in that manner, it then means that the outcome of the primaries cannot really be regarded as a reflection of the popular will of the people. Instead, we can say that the outcome is a procured outcome, because situations where delegates are bought, delegates are procured, and they are compromised with by the highest bidder and the highest spender, you can't really say that the primaries to that extent is free or is fair.
In a matter of hours, the All Progressives Congress and other political parties will be electing their flag bearers for the 2023 presidential elections. Some describe the atmosphere as tense.
It's like everybody wants to be president in Nigeria, so the atmosphere is tense. And I just hope people will understand the position of this country now. The position of this country needs Nigerians to understand the kind of president that we want. Every leader defines the institution. Nigerian president is very, very pivotal to the stability of this country. We need a president that understands the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. If you have a wrong candidate for a political party, you can't make any change in the after the election, after the primaries. The primary is the foundation. That is the beginning. So if you get the foundation wrong, you can't do anything anymore.
But the power to diffuse any tension in any political race lies with the gladiators involved, just like we witnessed the stepping down in the just concluded People's Democratic Party primaries. The facts also show that so far, the APC has screened 23 presidential aspirants. More importantly, Nigerians are hopeful that the overall candidate that will emerge will be a person unbiased in religious and ethnic aspirations, non-partisan in outlook, and gender-friendly. Thank you, Magdalene. Very interesting scenario unfolding right before our eyes. And Nigerians are excited, enthusiastic, and we're PVC ready. We'll have a guest and we'll have a chat. But for now, Ebenezer went to the airport to keep us abreast with what's happening with plans for refurbishment, what has been done, and what is yet to be done.
I, Muhammad Buhari, do solemnly swear.
On 29th of May 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari was sworn in as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He promised to turn around all sectors of economy. A key sector in Nigeria's economy is transportation, which includes aviation. Prior to this time, Nigeria's aviation was plagued by myriads of challenges, ranging from absence of coherent air transport policy to decaying facilities, loose security, among others. Determined to change this narrative, using Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, as a case study, President Buhari gave the approval for the completion of a new terminal building, which he commissioned on December 20, 2018. The President, through the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, has also improved the security within the airport, as witnessed and expressed by air travelers and airport manager.
Before you come in, they check what you are bringing in and what you are taking out. They try to observe every individual that is coming into the airport. I think that is a very good one in the right direction.
We have effective CCTV cameras in this airport. Even if it is somebody who mistakenly taking it or deliberately taking it, who takes it, will track it, and will give you. In the last month, we have arrested and prosecuted unwanted people in the airport to the police station and prosecuted to the courts.
The environment is now very clean, including the toilets, to make things conducive for air travelers.
The management of FAN is commissioning an expert to rehabilitate these toilets to a faster level at the domestic. So in the interim, we have also commissioned an expert again that will do a total cleaning and rehabilitation of the toilets, pending when this overall development comes up.
The improvements in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport is so obvious that it won the Airport Service Quality Award.
In 2020, we won the ASQ Award, that is Airport Service Quality Awards. And just this year, we also got another award from the ACI, the Voice of the Customer Recognition.
To show further commitment to continuous uplifting of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, President Buhari, who has completed and delivered 5 brand new international airport terminals since 2015, recently directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, to look for special funding for the second runway of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer. You know, when you get to the airport, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, there are many interesting things that will unfold, and you never know what the passengers are going to tell you. So it's very exciting to find that people appreciate what's being done around them, especially when it's impacting them. We're going to Lagos now, where our correspondent there from Educational Television also paid a visit to the airport in Lagos. She will tell us what she found.
On the 29th of May 2022, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration clocked 7 years. His administration has made impacts on different sectors of national life, especially on the aviation industry. The importance of aviation industry in any country cannot be underestimated. It is one of the most global industries that connects people, culture, and businesses across the continent. In Nigeria, the industry has been growing slowly but steadily since the pre-colonial days to the present, and as part of the efforts to improve the standard of the airports,
between 2015 and now, which is about 7 years, there has not been any accident to commercial airline. This is very novel when you look at our environment, that for 7 years you won't have accident to commercial airlines.
The current administration under President Muhammadu Buhari has records of his continuous hard work in building and renovating of airports. One of such is the giant step in building a new terminal in the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos.
For this government, they have taken it from where the previous government stopped and to the level where it is right now. I walk into this international airport and I look at it and I'm like, wow, this government has really done well in this area.
Partially, he has tried. I think the work is going on.
It's a welcome development and it's very okay, because most times when I come across there, everything is well organized and everything is just going smoothly.
The new terminal with 66 check-in counters, 16 immigration decks at arrival, 28 immigration decks at departure, and 8 security screening points amongst others. It has the capacity to process 14 million passengers per annum, and this was commissioned by the President on the 22nd of March 2022. With the delivery of these projects, a new era of safety, security, and comfort has been ushered into the Nigerian aviation. People have been benefiting from the positive economic impacts of these magnificent terminals. At this point, one is persuaded that it will be better with the passage of time.
But I think it is built to international standard. I think it's one of the best terminals in the country. And I think it is money well spent, money well invested, and we should consider it as one of the dividends of democracy. And I think we need more of that, around the country to meet up with 21st century standards. So I would say a lot of kudos to the administration for thinking it wise to have such a terminal. And I would hope that the terminal will be well serving and, very, very efficient in administration and in all purpose and functions to the Nigerian public.
Aviation in Nigeria has continued to expand. It has weathered crises and demonstrated long-term resilience and becoming an indispensable means of transportation. It is therefore necessary for all stakeholders to work together and support the growth of aviation in Nigeria for a sustainable development.
Thank you, ETV Lagos. Very interesting, very engaging. It is good to say things as we see them. You know, we often say when you see something, you got to say something. You're watching Weekend Deal. We want you to be a part of our program. You know, our program is interactive. Send in your messages via WhatsApp or SMS. Be a part of what's ongoing, because this is the best place to be at this time. Weekend Deal. You got it right if you are keeping our company now. We have a guest with us now. We want to talk about very interesting things unfolding now as we speak, and that's how we welcome Alhaji Muhammad Ibrahim Biu. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Is the Damasanin Biu is the former commissioner, Borno State, former Rec INEC in Bayelsa, and a former national publicity secretary of the Arewa Consultative Forum. It's great to have you. We can see that your experience
it's my pleasure to be here.
has taken you to the length and breadth of Nigeria and giving you in-depth knowledge of the goings on as it concerns Nigerians. So you're very welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, some say the most exciting thing unfolding now in Nigeria is politics and primaries. Do you agree?
Politics and
the primaries.
Well, we are in a kind of election season. And naturally, for parties to select their flag bearers, there must be primaries. And these primaries, you know, can take place in three forms: either direct, indirect, or consensus. What we have now, depending on the party, some parties may decide to have a consensus that is agreed to have just one candidate. Others may go for indirect primaries, that is through delegates, while the other ones you have the party members, that is the direct one at the local government level or the ward levels, you know, electing whoever they want as a governor, as House of Reps member, as a senator, you know, and as president. But what we have so far witnessed, and what we may likely witness in the few days to come, is because the primaries for the governorship, for senator, reps, state assemblies have been concluded for all the parties. For what is left now is the presidential primaries.
The big one.
The big one. So PDP as a party, they have concluded theirs. The APC maybe today or tomorrow. Some other parties like the SDP the next tomorrow. Some other parties too like NNPP, Labour Party, Abuja, etc. They have all concluded their primaries. But what Nigerians really are worried about is the monetization of the political system itself.
You think?
Yes. Nigerians are worried because no matter how good you are in terms of what you can offer for the benefit of this country, if you don't have money, then there's a problem.
Really?
Yes. All of us are guilty in this situation we found ourselves, which until and unless we get a very strong president.
Okay.
Very strong. What I mean by very strong?
Tell us the qualities we should seek. What are we seeking in a leader of that magnitude?
A leader of or a president of Nigeria now, considering what we have gone through, is somebody that is strong in mind, is committed to this country, is ready to offer a selfless service, is not interested in materialistic things, and wants to change the narrative of what we are in.
Let me now ask you the big question.
Yes.
Does such a person exist right now?
We have them.
The front runners that we see.
The issue of front runners, all this talk, I think these are just issues being raised by some of us in the media. You know, front runners, national this and that. You have people who may not even be front runners, as you are talking about, but who are really committed to changing the narratives of this country. And there are many. Just about 2 or 3 days ago, I met one very young man. He's not young, he's about 50, a lawyer. He's also contesting, you know, as a president on another platform. And the man sounds, you know...
he sounds like the man we need.
That is exactly the kind of president we need. He's a lawyer by profession. He has helped so many of his community people. He has been a community supporter. He knows the issues. He understands the economy of this country. He, you know, very brilliant chap.
Okay.
But in that case, he is not the kind of front runners we in the media just put him there. But these are the kind of people. And I also advised him. I said, look, you should, as much as possible, try to get to NTA, to other TV stations, media houses. Expose yourself. Expose this talent you have. Nigerians will appreciate you. And even if you don't get it this time, in the next dispensation,
in the future,
you will get it.
But he can begin to build his political career.
That is what is supposed to be. Because you see, this, with due respect to our front runners in court, they've been in this game for long. That is why they've been persistent and consistent. That is why even Buhari, you can remember, he contested 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria contested about 1, 2, 3, 4 times before he got there. And I keep on telling people, you don't just sit at home and expect people to come and say, okay, it's your turn now, take it. It's never done in this country.
But talk to Nigerians, because in a few months, we are the ones, you have said the delegates have done their job.
Yeah.
You know, they've got their logistic support where required, when necessary, we are accepted. So, but we have the final say. As we wrap up our conversation, talk to Nigerians, maybe enlighten them about what it entails to own a PVC, and for those who don't own one already, what they ought to do to be part of the narrative that is Nigeria.
No, in fact, if you don't have the PVC, then you don't have the right to even exercise your civic responsibility. So it's very important. I remember when I was the National Public Secretary of SCF, we even composed jingles, you know, advising Nigerians to ensure that they get registered as a voter, collect their PVC, and also vote according to their conscience, not according to what you give them. Because you can give you 2,000, 5,000, and that is the end of the day. That 2,000 or 5,000, that's for 4 years. So how are you going to survive on 5,000? But if you really exercise your civic responsibility on the basis of that, of your conscience, then definitely he too, no matter who he is, definitely he will do something that will benefit you or benefit the community as a whole. So to me, I would advise Nigerians, please go out, get registered, make sure you get your voter's card, and also on the election day, let's all troop out, because that will decide. We shouldn't allow few people. For example, when you hear of a governor winning an election with about 200,000 votes, when you have about maybe 3 million voters, I mean, it's very pathetic. That means just with about 2,000 people, 200,000 voters, he's now controlling 6 million people or 3 million people or 5 million people. I think that is not proper. So Nigerians, we should all move out we should go out on election day, ensure that we vote. It doesn't matter whether your candidate wins or he loses, it doesn't matter. But exercise that franchise of yours.
It makes you a patriot.
That is it.
Makes you a patriot. I want to thank you, Alhaji Muhammad Ibrahim Bill. Thank you for keeping our company on Weekend Deal today.
Thank you.
Talking to Nigerians, three more light on issues that can impact us for our good. Former National Publicity Secretary, ACF, former REC, INEC Bayelsa, former Commissioner in Borno State, Damasanin Bill. Thank you very much for making the time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, in Uyo, they've been making very interesting inroads into cassava processing. They've had support from different areas. NTA Uyo, tell us more.
Cassava is one of the most important crops in Nigeria, playing a dominant role in the nation's economy, and has become very popular as a food and cash crop, fast replacing most traditional staples in the country, especially in Akwa Ibom State. Cassava plays a major role in food security in Akwa Ibom State. It is one of the crops that is significant in realizing the four cardinal objectives of the state government on food sufficiency, availability, accessibility, and affordability. Key to achieving this success is the federal government's intervention efforts and provision of incentives in order to boost its production.
The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, has done a lot in the cassava value chain. We supplied the present vitamin A cassava cuttings being used all over the country presently. They were given out to individuals, they were given out to communities and all that. And those cassava cuttings are still in circulation as we speak. And you have the vitamin A cassava, vitamin A gari, currently in Akwa Ibom State. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture to all farmers has been supplying inputs to farmers. Some of them come in freely under this green initiative. Some of them come at subsidized rates.
Yearly, they give out farm inputs to farmers, especially the cassava cuttings, the maize grains, and other seeds for them to cultivate.
Improving cassava production and processing include making planting material available at the right time, in the right places, and proper distribution to the farmers.
Cassava varieties they have given to us is variety. And when farmers come to, because we are to multiply those cuttings when they bring it down, so that we send to farmers. So one, supply of cuttings, very vital. Supply of fertilizer, very vital. And of course, we will also talk about information supply to farmers. Not just the farmers are doing what to do, they should also know how to do what they should do.
So this is certified. We only give certified cuttings to farmers. That's why we have to arrange them very well before we send it to the field. A lot of consumers prefer it because when it comes to fufu production, it is perfect. When it comes to gari, it is perfect. And the very good dry matter content, and it doesn't spoil easily. Then it is not watery as compared to most of the local varieties.
Cassava can be cultivated with other crops such as vegetables, corn, and yam. The crop has a viable value chain and is a good source of raw materials involved in the production of confectionaries, animal feed, alcohol, adhesives, flour starch, among others. There is no doubt that the provision of incentives to cassava farmers has resulted in wealth creation and employment generation. The provision of incentives and support has increased the yield of the crop and subsequently exports to countries like China, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Thus, the incentives provided by the current administration to cassava farmers has increased one of Nigeria's staple food and country's revenue base.
Okay, many thanks, NTOU. It's good to see that many people are consistent in hard and smart work. We have a break now. We'll be back. Thank you for being a part of our show. In the course of the program, I'll take some of your messages. Do you know that there's a maritime university in Delta State? Well, NTA Asaba did some delving and some research, and this is what they are bringing forth. Please watch.
May 29, 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari took the oath of office as president. 7 years down the line, many commend him in Delta State, especially in the area of infrastructural development like the Nigerian Maritime University, which was accredited during his tenure.
Maritime University shows how much government is aware of the need to promote education in Delta State and the adjoining states.
The Nigerian Maritime University, situated in Okerekoko in Gbaramatu Kingdom of Delta State, though was founded in 2012, received the approval to commence degree program in February 2018 by the Nigerian University Commission, NUC. Reiterating his commitment to a better Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari approved the effective takeoff of the Maritime University, Okerekoko. The Nigerian Maritime University, which is at the bank of the Escravos River, has Professor Emmanuel Adijo sitting as Vice Chancellor. It has 14 departments such as nautical science, ports management, marine engineering, amongst others, divided into 3 faculties. The school, which is not affected by the ASU strike, currently have close to 3,000 students, is getting set to release her first set of graduates at the end of this academic year.
The Nigerian Maritime University of Okerekoko is patterned after paramilitary tradition. Our students wear uniform, they are not permitted to unionize. Some of our programs are 5-year programs, some are 4-year programs. We have also registered with the National Youth Service Corps to ensure that our first set of graduates are promptly mobilized for the National Youth Service Scheme.
The question now is, how is Gbaramatu Kingdom faring since the birth of the university?
Most of our youth are tagged as militants. You know, they say the idle mind is a workshop for the devil. You know, so if these youths are not properly engaged, there could be restiveness. And the last time the INC as a group visited the university, there are a lot of things still to be done there. There is the only federal presence that we can say that is there. We expect so much.
Nigerian Maritime University Okerekoko is located under the banks of the Escravos River, which is only accessible by water transport, which takes about 2 hours. We need more of government attention geared towards the university. We need funding. We still need more classrooms, hostels, staff quarters, and so much to do. If with the little we have, we were able to get to where we are now, and if we have more, we'll definitely do more.
Free the federal universities from Abuja. In Delta State, we decided not to micromanage the universities. All our tertiary institutions are autonomous. They run on their own. And that is the model I'm recommending to the federal government. All these strikes about ASU will be solved the moment you grant that autonomy to federal universities.
In all, infrastructural and human development is the fastest way to grow, and this type in Okerekoko Gbaramatu Kingdom of Delta State is a welcome development.
Thank you, NTA Saba. And OIN has been working assiduously. You do realize that under the current administration, a lot has been done in terms of infrastructure. OIN paid particular attention to roads in Nigeria.
Infrastructure is vital to a nation's socio-economic development and prosperity, especially roads. They are like blood vessels through which the economy pulses. When roads are motorable, service providers are linked to the markets, workers to their jobs, students to schools, and the sick and ailing to hospitals. Since assumption of office in 2015, President Buhari's administration has carried out commendable road projects across the country through the Ministry of Works and Housing. Some of these are the Nnewi-Udunna Road, sections 1 and 2, 26.27 kilometer in Enugu and Ebonyi states.
If you look at it like the Abuja, Kaduna, Kano project, almost one lane, though they are not taking it one side straight, but if you have a total configuration of what they have on ground now, it's more than 50%. And likewise, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, if you look at it, it is a very busy road, so it is not easy to tamper with. But definitely sure there are a lot of achievements. If you look at it now, it is almost 60%. Apart from that, there is investment also from the federal government, which is more than, I think, ₦1 trillion across the 6 geopolitical zones to make sure all the roads that are dilapidated will be reconstructed, and including the new ones. So if you look at it, it is a very big achievement. So long, I think this government in the area of road infrastructure has the highest number of projects. There is a road between from Kano to Maiduguri. The way you take the southeast as the commercial center, the same thing as Kano. Kano is the commercial center of the north. So that road is very important, and that road also, as I'm talking to you, is almost 90% completion. Because if you start from Kano down to, I think, down to Yobe, the road is 100% completed. So likewise, look at it from Kano to Abuja and to other sectors. There are other roads from Kano under construction now. Some are completed, all by the federal government. So Kano is another point of business activities whereby the link from all other states need to be enhanced.
The second Niger bridge is another laudable achievement of Buhari's administration. This is a key national infrastructure that has immense socio-economic values to the neighboring states and the country at large. The bridge is 1.6 kilometers long and furnished with other ancillary infrastructure, plus a 10.3 kilometer highway.
The major project there stretched between the southeast and the south-south. That is the second Niger bridge. This is a project that has been singing in our ears for years. A government upon government, they have been coming promising to tidy up that road. But immediately this government coming realized the importance of that axis, the economic value of that project. So the government take it upon itself as a project that is not to joke with. Because if you look at it, the eastern part, you have the Onitsha market and all this. They are very sensitive area in terms of economic growth of this nation. So that is why the government give more emphasis on that second Niger bridge. And definitely sure more than 91% completion. So definitely sure before the end of this administration, the second Niger bridge will be completed 100%. It's stretched in between the southeast and the south-south. It is like a link. And it is the link for the two sides to enhance the business and other activities that is within the two regions. It is a major link that is the business activities in Nigeria. A lot of things come out from the southeast and pass through the Niger bridge and come down to the north.
The achievements of President Buhari in this sector have put smiles on the faces of beneficiaries and enhanced economic growth.
Thank you, Oyin, for that feature on the infrastructure, specifically focused on roads. Now we continue the conversation talking about the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration from 2015 till now. And we get to talk with our guest, Dr. Mike Emo, National Chairman of Host Communities Producing Oil and Gas.
Thank you, viewers and Nigerians.
It's great to have you join us on Weekend Deals today.
Thank you very much.
When we talk about achievement of President Muhammadu Buhari, what area can you highlight? We've just seen that package on roads.
Basically, I, as an individual, I will score President Muhammadu Buhari 75% of achievement, good achievement, and 25% of challenges. The areas of the good achievement, let me digress a little to the roads. Roads were all dilapidated all over the country. Then the issue of rehabilitation came on board, and now there is development in that. Mr. President's achievement so far, I would say that you will see him as a man of continuity. All the projects that he inherited, he never abandoned the project for new projects. Nigerians know that very well. And take example from the roads, example from the second Niger bridge. He inherited it and he continued. Then what about the railways that he inherited? He continued. We must give him a score back, no matter whatever happened. And then you look at the issues of judiciary. He never tampered with the judiciaries of this country. Nigeria know that very well.
They have a high level of independence.
Yeah, very high level of feeling for that. Look at the issue of corruption. He as a person, we know that he's never a corrupt man. He as a person. Some of the lieutenants could be corrupt. And then you look at other areas.
What of airport refurbishment?
Yeah, that's the area. If you look at the airports in Nigeria, look at the seaport in Nigeria, a lot of development coming on board. You see, Nigerians may be quick to say one thing to the other in an odd manner, forgetting that this man is there for just 7 years now, to complete 8 years. But before he came on board, the economy of this country had been destroyed. The railway system was destroyed. The airways was destroyed. Nigerian shipping line destroyed. APNT supply destroyed. The Alajasi destroyed. A lot of things were destroyed before he came on board. And within 16 years, this country got it wrong. 16 years of those who were leading us by then before he came on board. I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to condemn anybody. But the fact is that there is to build is difficult. To destroy is easy. And the man has came on board to build. So we must appreciate him for that he came on board to build.
But tell us about the Maritime University.
Now, you see, that was the handwork of President Jonathan. And when he came on board, the government of Muhammadu Buhari continued with the university. So if you get to Kerikoko today, in fact, it is only the Maritime University that is the federal government achievement today in Delta State and within Delta State and Anambra State where you have the second Niger bridge. So I want to say that he as a person came on board and he has performed very well. But look at the other side of it, the 25% of it, you have the challenges of insecurity. Worse, although he inherited it, and the issue of security in the US and the Western world is everybody's affair, not just the president alone. Though he inherited this issue of insecurity, but it's now on the increase. And then we now see the issue of the hardship that is telling on the people. That is the issue of the economy.
There's been quite a number of social intervention schemes for farmers to procure modern equipment and improve the quality of their products and produce. Tell us about that.
Basically, Nigeria will score Mr. President almost 95% in terms of agriculture. He came on board as a homogenic innovation diffusionist. He came on board to talk on diversification from oil and gas to agriculture. And today Nigeria produces rice so much more than ever before in this country, in the history of this country, Nigeria. And so I think emphasis should be laid on agriculture so that there will be common food. In the US, the poorest American person can eat what the president is fed upon in the White House, Washington, D.C. So I think food is not a problem over there. Let's see how we can provide food to our hungry Nigerians. Let's go back to agriculture. Those days when we were in school, early 60s, 70s, we were in primary school, secondary school, before we went to higher institution. Agriculture was the hub of our economy. And so we should look at where the local government will have their farms, where individuals have their farms, where state government will have their farms. Let me use Delta State as an example. We have 30% derivation income that comes in to Delta State every month, and that's over 12 billion every month. If Delta State budget is about 300 billion in a year, give only 50 billion to agriculture, 2 billion to each local government. Delta State is made up of 25 local governments. So 50 billion, 2 billion to each local government. I tell you there will be food everywhere. If every local government does that all over the country. So what the Central Bank have done, what Bank of Industry have done, what Ministry of Agriculture have done, what the federal government have done in terms of agriculture in the northern state should be practiced in the eastern state. The easterners have the land and they can farm the rice in Ebonyi state. Let that be done in south-south, where we have the rivers, we have the ponds and everything, but no money allocation. Our whole community apply for money. We flag off, and we got land for, in all the state for agriculture, but up to date. So that's why I always call him 95% in terms of agriculture, until he now visit the host community, release money to the south-south, the southwest, let everybody go back to agriculture. Emphasis is mainly laid in the middle belt and the upper north in terms of agriculture, in terms of funding agriculture. And even where in the middle belt and in the northeast, northwest, at least we still need more equipment, so we can go into new modern mechanized agriculture. The presidency have tried, federal government have tried, but they should try more and more to move people back to agriculture.
Interesting. All hands should be on board because Nigeria is all of ours. So everyone should contribute their own quota. Let's talk about, what do you think the impact of the second Niger bridge will be on Nigerians when completed?
Mr. President has promised us that before the end of this year, before he leaves office, he will commission the second Niger bridge. And when that is done, then the whole of the traffic jam will be out of it. And then people can travel to the south and then come to the north, the east, the west, because that has been a cog in the wheel of economic progress in the south-south, in the southeast. So when Mr. President, when this present government completes the construction of the second bridge, I think that will grow the economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mike Emo, National Chairman, Host Communities Producing Oil and Gas in Nigeria. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.
On Weekend Deal. You're watching Weekend Deal. We'll take a break now. We urge you to stay with us. And remember, our program is interactive. We want to continue to hear your views and share your experiences. We'll be back. It always encourages entrepreneurs and investors when there's a certain level of ease in doing business. That was one primary focus of the current administration, talking about President Muhammadu Buhari. Let's see what Victoria Island Lagos put together.
Building a thriving and sustainable economy by providing a better playing field for commerce to thrive in the nation through formulating and implementing policies and programs to attract investment, boost industrialization, and increase trade and exports are some of the core mandates of the Buharis administration to drive the economy. One of such economic reform is the ease of doing business in Nigeria.
When we talk about ease of doing business, there are quite a number of dimensions to it. There is the regulatory dimension. We have the macroeconomic dimension. There are also structural issues. There are also financing or funding issues.
Since the advent of PEBEC, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, to working together to make sure that the environment, the business environment for operations in Nigeria as a whole is continually being improved upon.
Chaired by the Vice President, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, is an initiative of the Buharis administration saddled with the duty of getting the business environment working through extensive collaborations in Nigeria. Some of its impacts are felt in these sectors of the economy.
On the regulatory front, the government has done quite a lot, particularly easing the challenges of regulation for small businesses. NAFDAC, SON, and issues of business registration.
The revision of the CAMA Act, which has done so much, especially for small businesses, greatly increasing the threshold for paying tax. So great concessions for companies with revenues below 25 million and revenues below 100 million. But many other things, so simplifying shareholding, providing company buyback terms, providing a bankruptcy procedure and advances in how we wind down businesses, registration of charges, electronic signatures, allowing single individuals to be able to register companies. So all those are great interventions.
For instance, Lagos State, which is the largest commercial, industrial, and digital hub in Nigeria, has witnessed significant impact in terms of ease of doing business in Nigeria.
We now have e-LIRS platform for paying taxes, so e-taxes to physical permits. Lagos is always first in terms of digitization. And of course, it's a complicated, complex, massive state. So sometimes these benefits take a while to be seen, but without a doubt, Lagos is always pushing the agenda on digitization.
While we acknowledge what has been done through some of these social investment programs, through the CBN development finance initiatives, which is quite broad in scope, I must say, and through the activities of the development finance institutions like the BOI, quite a lot has been done.
Following the World Bank's positive appraisal of the economic direction of Buharis administration and ranking the country higher in its annual ease of doing business rating, the administration is poised to do something profound about attracting investments in Nigeria. Notwithstanding, here are some of the proposed measures by experts to help address the challenges encountered by MSMEs in the country.
Access to credit by many of the SMEs is an issue that we need to look at. And of course, just as I said, the macroeconomic issues, the component of it that the government can deal with. I'm talking about issues of inflation, issues of exchange rate depreciation, issues of scarcity of foreign exchange.
Being a country with so much resources and coming up with measures to reduce dependency on oil by diversifying the economy, experts say jobs and inclusive growth should be employed to bring about positive change desired.
Thank you, NTA Victoria Island, Lagos. Yes, ease of doing business is critical. It encourages investments, investors, and it makes everything smooth and much easier for the entrepreneurs. It is time to wrap up our package of Weekend Deal. We thank you for being a part of it. We began yesterday to highlight achievements of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. We've talked about agriculture. We've talked about health. We've talked about roads. We've talked about loans which impacted agriculture positively. We talked about aviation, and I know that many of us before now perhaps were not aware of the Maritime University. We've also talked about the ease of doing business and of course sports. We couldn't have celebrated everything. There are some you know, there are some you are learning about now on the program. But more importantly, if you indeed are a patriot, you need to support government, the policies, the laws. Be a responsive and responsible Nigerian. Be a loyalist, be a patriot. God indeed bless Nigeria. Thank you for watching Weekend Day.